You're sitting on the couch. She's 10 feet away. Same room, same evening, same two people who used to feel like home to each other. But tonight, something is off. She's scrolling her phone. You're scrolling yours. And the silence isn't comfortable anymore. It's heavy. The kind of quiet that used to be easy and now feels like an ocean, widening between two people who share a last name. And this is what's running through your head. Why don't I just say something? Is she even still interested in us? Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe she stopped caring. Maybe this is just what long-term love feels like after a while. Man, I need you to hear this before we go any further. She hasn't stopped caring about you. She hasn't lost interest. She is, in fact, sitting 10 feet away from you on that couch right now. Quietly, nervously, waiting. Not for the perfect words. Not for some rehearsed line. Just for you to reach for her before she gives up reaching first. You're not missing this because you don't love her. You're missing it because nobody ever taught you what her quiet actually means. By the end of this video, you're going to see 7 signs. Signs you are probably watching happen this week. Signs most men walk past every single day. That she is silently begging you to talk to her. And you're going to know how to show up when you see them. Let's get into it. The mindset reframe. Most men, and bro, this includes the men most relationship content would call good guys, believe that when a woman goes quiet, she's the one creating distance. But the real truth is this. When she goes quiet, it's almost never because she's lost interest. It's because she's exhausted from being the only one still knocking. And here's what never gets explained. You have to feel this through her nervous system, not just your mind. Attachment science tells us something brutally honest. The pursue-withdraw dynamic in relationships isn't caused by one person being bad or cold. It's caused by two nervous systems protecting themselves from the same fear, that the other person is about to stop choosing them. When she stops reaching for a few days, when her replies get shorter, when she says, "I don't really want to talk about it," that isn't disengagement. That is a woman who has been reaching for weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years, and has quietly begun to wonder if the door she's been knocking on ever opens again. Not louder conversations, not more compromising, not scheduling a weekly check-in, but two people who finally feel safe enough to be honest with each other for the first time in a long time. That's what the 7 signs I'm about to walk you through are actually pointing to. They're her version of refusing to let the door close, and most men have no idea what to look for. Here's the part no one talks about. She hasn't stopped wanting to talk to you. She's just stopped being willing to be the only one who keeps trying. Sign 1. The nothing text. Most couples have a version of this. Maybe it's her texting K. Maybe it's LOL cool. Maybe it's a meme with no words attached. Maybe it's the read receipt with no reply. Her phone used to light up with paragraphs for you. Now her replies are shorter, less frequent, and most men read that as her losing interest. Beneath the surface, here's what's actually happening. She's testing you. Not in a manipulative, strategic way, in a nervous system way. Her brain is quietly registering something like, if I stop reaching first, will he reach for me? It's the unspoken question underneath every one-word reply, including the ones that look like nothing. She isn't pulling away because she doesn't love you. She is pulling away because she is tired of being the only one holding the rope. And here's what changes everything. The moment you stop reading her silence as rejection and start reading it as her handing you a chance to reach first, the whole dynamic shifts. Same moment, same text, 2 very different versions of you. The disconnecting version. She texts K. You text back K. You both go back to your phones.
The silence gets a little heavier. She's thinking, he didn't even notice. The connecting version. She texts K. An hour later, you text, "Hey, weird question. What were you actually thinking about today?" I want the real version. Same phone, same message, a completely different door opening. And when you do that, when you turn toward the silence instead of matching it, the walls between you start to come down without either of you having to say a word. That is when she stops feeling like a problem to manage and starts feeling like a person to come home to. Sign 2. The small annoyance spiral. Most couples eventually hit this moment. She snaps at you about something tiny. The dishes, the tone you used, the way you sighed when she asked you a question. Not the big stuff, the small stuff, the kind of fight you can barely remember 10 minutes later. And bro, here's where most men go wrong. You assume she's in a mood. You assume she's being unfair. You assume she's picking a fight about something that doesn't matter. She's not. Beneath the surface, that small thing was the last drop in a cup she's been carrying for weeks. Her nervous system didn't snap because of the dishes.
Her nervous system snapped because she has been feeling unseen, unfelt, unreached. And the dishes were just the moment her body finally asked the question her mouth is too scared to ask out loud. Do I still matter here? Watch the contrast in the same kitchen, same night, same fight. The disconnecting version. She says, "You never even put the lid on the Tupperware." He says, "Wait, are you seriously upset about a lid right now?" She walks out of the room. He rolls his eyes. They go to bed 11 inches apart. The connecting version. She says, "You never even put the lid on the Tupperware." He pauses. He puts down the dish towel. He walks toward her, not away from her, and says, "Hey, before we figure out the lid, how was today actually?" The real version. I'm not rushing you. The Tupperware never mattered. The pause mattered. That is the moment the small annoyance stops being a fight and starts becoming the door back in. This isn't a communication hack. It's what two emotionally available people naturally do when one of them signals that something deeper underneath is hurting. Sign 3. The question behind the question. Here's the part most couples never figure out. She asks you questions. How was your day? What you had for lunch? Whether you talked to your mom? What you thought about that podcast she sent you a week ago? Most couples treat these like surface-level small talk. Beneath the surface, every one of those questions is a small door. She's trying to know you. She's trying to be let in. And every autopilot answer you give her feels like a closed door. She's not actually asking how your day was. She is asking, are you still letting me have you? Are we still the kind of couple who actually knows each other? Or are we just two polite strangers sharing a mortgage? Something in her is quietly saying right then, if he answers like a real person, I might still be allowed in. Watch how that lands in two different versions of the same evening. The disconnecting version. Her. How did your meeting actually go? Him. Fine. Same as usual. He doesn't look up from his phone. The question dies on the floor. The connecting version. Her.
How did your meeting actually go? Him. Honestly, kinda brutal. My boss said something that landed weird and I haven't processed it yet. Can I think out loud for a minute? Same question, two completely different doors. And in that second version, something in her is saying, he actually let me in this time. He actually used me as a person, not just a body in the room. And when you do that, when you let her in past the surface, she stops feeling like she's been living with a stranger who happens to share her bed. That is when she starts feeling like the door between you is finally open again, even if just for 10 minutes. Sign 4. The future drop. Sign number 4. Pay attention to this one because it's sneaky. Most couples hear these little future statements all the time without realizing what they are. Wouldn't it be nice if we went back to that place? My friend just booked a trip and I thought of us. Imagine when our apartment has the bigger kitchen. They sound like passing thoughts. Most guys nod, smile vaguely, and move on. They are not passing thoughts. Beneath the surface, every one of those is her quietly checking whether your we still has a future. She's not asking to plan the trip. She is asking, is this still worth my heart? When you meet them with a vague, distracted, yeah, maybe someday, she hears doubt. Maybe you don't hear it. She hears it loud. When you meet them with curiosity and follow-up, wait, tell me more. When are we free? Help me look it up right now. She hears invitation. She hears real. Watch the contrast in the same conversation. The disconnecting version. Her. Wouldn't it be nice to go back to Portugal next spring? Him. Yeah, that would be cool. Someday. He forgets about it in 30 seconds. She logs it in the part of her brain quietly labeled reasons to worry. The connecting version. Her. Wouldn't it be nice to go back to Portugal next spring? Him. Portugal? Yes. When exactly? Pull up flights with me right now. I'm serious. Let's actually do this. Someday became soon. Doubt became plan. And that is the moment she stops testing whether you're still in and starts believing you actually are. Sign 5. The late night reach. This is the sign that most men completely miss. Around 11 p.m., when the day finally winds down, something in her shifts. She lingers. She asks one more question. She touches your arm lightly. She says, "Hey, before we sleep, can I tell you about something?" Most couples write this off as her needing more sleep or just being chatty. They respond with, "Yeah, babe, tomorrow. I'm wrecked." And they roll over. Beneath the surface, here's what's happening. Late at night, her nervous system finally unwinds enough to surface the things she's been carrying all day. That lingering isn't random. It is the most vulnerable window she has, and she is opening it specifically for you. You cannot ask her to do this again. This is the kind of moment you simply have to recognize and stay for. Watch.
The disconnecting version. Her. Hey, can I tell you about something that's been bugging me? Him. Yeah, of course, but I'm dying right now. Tomorrow? He rolls over. She lies there in the dark. The thing she wanted to say gets swallowed. She falls asleep, wondering if she imagined the marriage she's in. The connecting version. Her. Hey, can I tell you about something that's been bugging me? Him. Yes, stay right there. I'm not going anywhere. Tell me. And here's what nobody explains. It doesn't matter if the conversation is 2 minutes or 20 minutes. What matters is that you stayed awake for her, that you chose the moment when she was actually opening up. That's when she stops feeling like she's been waiting all day for someone to notice her, and starts feeling like she finally did. Sign 6. The touch that isn't trying anything. Sign number 6. This one is subtle, and most men overlook it completely. She fixes your collar. She touches your arm as she walks past you in the kitchen. She leans her head on your shoulder while you're watching something. She runs her hand through your hair while you're on the phone. Most couples read this as affection that's already there, already locked in, already taken care of. So they don't even register it. They don't respond. Beneath the surface, that touch isn't a confirmation of anything. It's a request. Her body is asking the question her mouth is too afraid to ask out loud. Are you still here with me? Do I still land on you? Her silence isn't absence. It's longing her body found the only way it could. It is her version of talking to you when she doesn't have the words to talk to you. And the contrast in the same moment is enormous. The disconnecting version. She leans in, he doesn't even notice. He keeps scrolling. Maybe he gives her a small, absent-minded pat without really registering. She pulls away slowly. The physical distance between them grows 4 inches, and it's a metaphysical 4 inches that follows them to bed. The connecting version. She leans in. He pauses. He actually looks at her. He says, "Hey, that just made the last 3 hours feel different. Stay right there. What are you thinking about right now?" That pause, that eye contact, that question. That is the moment. And when he does that, when he treats her touch like a sentence instead of background noise, her body stops asking the question her voice never got permission to ask. And that's when physical presence and emotional presence start feeling like the same thing. This isn't a trick for avoiding disconnect. It's what it looks like when two people have learned that touch without attention is just noise. Sign 7. The reach after you pull away. Last one. And man, I cannot tell you how often this is the sign that decides whether the relationship survives the year or quietly dies in the background. You get distant. Work was hard. You had a long week. Maybe something happened that you haven't even told her about yet. You shut down for a few days. You go quiet. Maybe you didn't even realize you were doing it. And then, somewhere inside that silence, she doesn't disappear. She reaches. Maybe with a meme. Maybe with "drive safe heart" when you didn't even tell her you were driving. Maybe with "thinking of you." Most couples read this kind of low-effort reach as nothing. They thumbs up it. They send back a one-word reply. Done. Beneath the surface, that reaches everything. It's her, in the only way she knows how, asking, "I'm still here. Are you coming back to me?" What's quietly moving through her in that moment is something like, "I thought I lost him. Please let him come back." And your one-word reply is registering in her nervous system as the answer to a question you didn't know she was asking. Not louder words, not a long late-night talk, not a perfectly worded message, but the moment you stop matching her silence with your own and reach back first. Watch how different this can go. The disconnecting version. Her. "Hey, just thinking about you, heart." Him. Heart.
3 seconds, back to scrolling. She puts her phone down and her chest tightens. The connecting version. Her. Hey, just thinking about you, heart. Him. Hey, I know I've been kind of off this week. I haven't fully figured out why yet. But I want you to know I'm not pulling away from you. I'm just trying to find my way back to myself. Can we talk tomorrow? Just us? No phones? Same text from her, two completely different shapes of him showing up. Not a script, not a clever line. Just a man finally reaching back first. That's when she stops waiting for you to wander back into the relationship and starts trusting that you actually will. So let's slow down here and look at what's actually true. None of these signs are tricks. They're not moves. They're not little persuasion scripts designed to make her want you more. They're the beginning of becoming the kind of partner you have always wished someone had been for you. When you start seeing the signs she has been sending for months, when you stop treating her quiet as rejection and start treating it as invitation, you don't just repair the relationship. You become the kind of man who knows how to reach for someone before it's too late. You stop reacting and start responding.
And she will feel that difference before you have even said a single word. So here's what I want you to do. Pick the one sign that hit you the hardest, just one. And the next time you see it, instead of doing what you usually do the other thing. Reach, stay, look up, ask the real question. Stay awake for 10 more minutes. Treat her touch like a sentence. Treat her reach like an invitation. Because here's the truth, nobody on the internet is going to tell you this clearly. She didn't stop wanting you to talk to her. She just stopped being willing to be the only one who kept trying. The moment you start reaching back, really reaching, is the moment she remembers why she chose you in the first place.